Hello everyone, welcome to Order 247 OPSC session. I'm SK Rout here. We'll discuss a very important topic which has been in news recently. On 21st October 2024, the Supreme Court of India declared secularism as a core part of the Constitution. In this session, we'll discuss what is secularism and why there is a need for secularism in India, and what is the difference between Western and Indian secularism version, and very few cases related to secularism by the Supreme Court. We shall discuss that. ठीक अच्छे आज आम देखा धर्मनिरपेक्षता उपरे सुप्रीम कोर्ट कर निकट में राय उपरे जे सुप्रीम कोर्ट को अनुजाई धर्मनिरपेक्षता संविधान एक अविच्छेद्य अंग बा अंश एवं कहीं धर्मनिरपेक्षता कौन एवं धर्मनिरपेक्षतार दरकार कौन अच्छी भारतीय सामाजिक व्यवस्था रे बा जातीय व्यवस्था रे एवं पाश्चात्य धर्मनिरपेक्षता और भारतीय धर्मनिरपेक्षता भितर कौन पार्थक्य रही एवं कौन कौन सुप्रीम कोर्ट रो जजमेंट रही सेकुलरिज्म उपरे गोटे फ्यू केसेस देखिबा दैट विल बी वेरी मच हेल्पफुल फॉर ऑल टाइप ऑफ aspirants, viewers and common people also. ठीक अच्छे डिस्कस करिबा त नाम आज तो स्टार्ट करिबा हमें the session. Look at the topic here कि secularism as a part of basic structure of the constitution, that is it a part of basic structure? Latest Supreme Court verdict on secularism. तो secularism रो पार्ट उपरे ठीक अच्छे आरंभ करिबा हमें धर्मनिरपेक्षता उपरे गोटे विशेष सेशन. चलो चलते हैं आगे. That has been there. The Supreme Court on Monday said secularism is an indelible. It is indelible part of Constitution, indelible and core part of basic structure of the Constitution. The court made the oral observation while hearing the batch of petitions filed by former Rajya Sabha member Subramaniam Swamy and others challenging inclusion of the word socialist and secularism in the preamble of the Constitution. Okay, so that is there. Therefore fraternity is provided. This is the news in Hindu newspapers, and almost all newspapers has the news also. Let us discuss. Let us go to the what I intend to share with you. What is secularism? Secularism means neutrality, dharma nirapekshata, neutrality in matters of religion. Jodi ame first lexical meaning lekhiba tale neutrality in matters of religion. The state neutrality, car neutrality, states neutrality in the matter of religion. राष्ट्र जिते बड़े धर्म मैटर रे निरपेक्ष रहे से सेकुलरिज्म रहे. सेकुलरिज्म तो माने प्रायोरिटी दिया जाए. तो मीनिंग इंडियन सेकुलरिज्म रो मीनिंग बहुत रही. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सेकुलरिज्म इन इंडियन कॉन्टेक्स्ट देखिबा. मीनिंग ऑफ सेकुलरिज्म रे हमें देखिबा मीनिंग्स. फर्स्ट ला स्टेट हैज नो रिलीजन ऑफ इट्स ओन. State has no religion of its own. अर्थात राष्ट्र कौनसी धर्म नहीं. भारतीय संविधान रे बा भारतीय राष्ट्र नेशन स्टेट रो कौनसी राष्ट्र पैट्रोनेज दउथिबा बा स्टेट पैट्रोनेज रिलीजन किछ नहीं. द स्टेट डज नॉट प्रोवाइड special patronage to any particular religion. Although we are a Hindu majority state, but we have not adopted, accepted Hinduism as our state religion, and the country is not named as Hindustan in the constitution. As you know, in Article 1, the constitution describes India as India and Bharat. So therefore, state has no religion. Next meaning करिबा में all religions have equal status in the law, equal status before the law. ठीक है, all religions have equal status. Irrespective of any religion you belong to, you are treated as a citizen of India. That means all religious people are equal before the law, equality before the law. Then all religions have equal status. All religions are treated equally. No person is discriminated on the ground of religion. Religious freedom and freedom of conscience. Freedom of conscience is granted to all. Look at these meanings of Indian secularism. These are the meaning of Indian secularism. First, state has no religion of its own. अर्थात राष्ट्र कोनोसी धर्म नहीं. All religions have equal status, as I have explained already. Religious people with a particular religion enjoy equal status before the law, before the constitution. All religions are treated equally. No, that is means there is no partiality. No person is discriminated on the ground of religion. Article 15 of the Constitution denies discrimination on the ground of religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth. Religious freedom and freedom of conscience is granted to all people under Article 25 to 28 grants freedom of religion to all persons, both citizens and aliens. 25 to 28. These are the meaning of nationalism, secularism in India. So you means that secularism has a broader meaning, has a broader and positive meaning. Secularism has a broader and positive meaning in India. Secularism has a broader and positive meaning because of this vast meaning that we have mentioned. There are number of meanings of secularism has. ठीक है जी, सबको the means the sarvadharma sambhavam, that is based upon the ancient जो gospel but the principle of sarvadharma samanvaya, sarvadharma sambhavam, that is preached in the constitution. Need for secularism in India. Need for secularism re diversity of religion. Diversity in religions. India considers that all world is a family. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam is the ancient or cardinal principle. Is the cardinal principle of our secularism. Samaste Monisha, that is a religion. Most of the preachers, most of the religious preachers, spiritual leaders in India all have preached the religion of humanity. There is one religion, that is religion of humanity. This concept has been preached by almost all spiritual leaders and religious gurus in India since time immemorial. So we consider individual from the point of view of human being, not from the point of view of religion. That's why religion is a secondary matter for us in case we treat human beings. That is a beauty of Indian culture or the unique characteristic of Indian culture, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So as we have many religions, because most of the religions find India as their suitable home. एमती कोनोसी धर्म नहीं, एमती कोनोसी धर्मीय भावनार लोक नाहंती जे भारत रे बसति स्थापन करूनांती. It is a mini world. The world is looked through the prism of India. It is a mini world, Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. So that is the reason why we have adopted secularism. Because if we promote one religion, then people belonging to other religion will feel neglected and exploited. Therefore, secularism is quintessential, but quite essential to the survival of India as a nation state. Because India has been a multi-religious country since time immemorial. Since ancient time, we have been multi-religious. We have been ruled by Hindus, we have been ruled by Islams, we have been ruled by Christians. So India has given place to all religions and religious leaders. So there is need for diversity in religion, and because of the multi-religious nature, multi-religious nature of Indian society, that's why we need secularism in India, so that all religions will breathe freely and unrestrictively, but freely and without any restriction. They can breathe freely and they can feel that India is their home. Next is we can come to the Western secularism. Like constitutional provision jodi ame dekhiba secularism ro, the word secularism is mentioned in the preamble to the Constitution of India. And many articles of the Constitution contribute to the secular credential of our Constitution. Fundamental rights and mostly contribute to secularism. Article 14, equality before law, Article 15, Article 16, Article 17, all these nothing but a contributors to secular credential of our Constitution. So almost all fundamental rights contribute to secularism in India. 14, 15, 16, 17, and most especially 25 to 28 article, freedom of religion, which is granted to all people irrespective of both citizens and aliens to practice any religion, to practice, profess and propagate any religion. The Constitution also grants freedom of conscience. That means it allows you to be religious or to be non-religious. You can be an atheist or a theist. So religion has not been given a prime importance or an individual requirement. It is left to the individual's choice, not to the state's choice. So freedom of conscience is a hallmark characteristic of our secularism. Freedom of conscience. Freedom of conscience, जोटा हमें देखिबा, freedom of conscience. It is a hallmark characteristic. Is a hallmark characteristic of our Constitution. That is the beauty of the Constitution. So Indian Constitution provides for positive secularism. So how it is different from Western secularism? How it is different from Western secularism, that we have to notice. that how it is different from Western secularism. ठीक है? Look at the points. Look at the points that I am telling you now. In Western secularism and Indian secularism, I will discuss few points to make you understand the difference that is most essential. That is a mutual exclusion of state and religion. There is a complete dichotomy. विभाजन. Dichotomy माने कौन? विभाजन. Complete dichotomy between religion and state. In Western countries, the state does not interfere in any religious matter. It is completely divorced from the state politics, the state. That is called mutual exclusion. There is a complete dichotomy. But it is, in Indian context, it is principal distance. The state does not involve in religious matters so long as religion is not a subject of conflict. So long as religion does not become a problem. That means the state can interfere in religious matters wherever it is essential. For example, the state will protect the minorities, that is the responsibilities. So therefore, various steps taken by Government of India to promote the interest of minorities. That means the state involvement in the minority religions. The state gives grant to religious institutions. It also gives grants to educational institutions run by minorities under Article 30. So that means state is not completely divorced, or state is not completely silent in religious matters. That is called principal distance. So we do not have complete dichotomy. In religious matters. That is there. Okay. Next आसीबा में western जोटा रही western और Indian एटा होची negative secularism. एटा होची positive secularism. It is in Western countries that is promoted secularism. Negative, why it is called negative? Because there is a strict separation of religion and politics between religion and state. That is called negative. Why Western countries secularism को कहीं negative कुआजे? Because the state is completely neutral. धर्म नारे जहाँ भी हेले, धर्म नारे किसी भी असुविधा हेले, state किसी कोई परिवार. State रे कोनोसी धर्मीय minority section जदि neglected feel करचंदी, सेतरे state किसी कोई परिवार. किंतु भारत रे कोन positive secularism. अर्थात the state does not interfere generally, but it will involve in religious matters for the promotion of the minority interest, for the protection of the minority rights, and also for the protection of the majoritarian interest. The state is not completely away from religion. Government but state is not completely. That is called positive secularism. बुझेला? Positive secularism काहे कुआजे? Because state is not completely neutral or aligned to religious matters. It involves in religious matters. For example, it grants financial assistance to religious institutions. It grants for temple, for mosques, for churches, for any other religious institutions. It is also involved for promotion of interest of the minority sections. The constitution also provides certain rights of minorities under Article 29, 30, 350A, 350B. there are not a number of articles which are provided for minority protection, and the constitution, the government, the state also promotes minority interest by promoting many programs, schemes. For example, recently the Prime Minister in 2021 probably started PM's 15-point program for the promotion of interest of the minorities. The माने इंडिया रे राष्ट्र धर्मीय मैटर रे संपूर्ण भाव में आखि बुझी दबनी, धर्मीय मैटर को सेती बेले देखिबो जेते बेले धर्मर किछि आवश्यकता तेणु संख्यालघु संप्रदाय मानकर स्वार्थ को प्रोटेक्शन दबा एवं तांकर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन को प्रोटेक्ट दबा, तांकर लैंग्वेज स्क्रिप्ट कल्चर आर्टिकल 29 रे कहै बुझे लगी नहीं. सो देयरफॉर इंडियन सेक्युलरिज्म इज कॉल्ड पॉजिटिव सेक्युलरिज्म. दैट इज आल्सो द सेकंड मोस्ट डिफरेंस बिटवीन द वेस्टर्न सेक्युलरिज्म एंड इंडियन सेक्युलरिज्म. दैट मीन्स इट इक्वल रेस्पेक्ट टू ऑल रिलीजियंस or equal protection of all religions. That is called sarvadharma sambhavam. That is dharma sambhavam. All religions are equal. That is also there. Okay, next asiba mein वेस्टर्न को वेस्टर्न और इंडियन रो थर्ड डिफरेंस हम जदि लिखिबा, नो स्टेट सपोर्ट टू माइनॉरिटी एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस. No state support खाली हमें पॉइंट करि परिबा. No state support to religious matters. एपटे कोन there is India रे कोन India रे ला कोन state provides adequate support to educational institutions run by minorities. That is Article 30 under it. No state support it completely Western ray, no state support. Okay, in any matter. Okay, so that is the difference. That is the third most difference between the Indian secularism. The state provides support. There is state support in religious matters. You can also add, the state also provides financial grant for the protection, preservation of religious shrines, religious institutions. धर्म प्रतिष्ठा करूनी मंदिर मस्जिद रो सुरक्षा दउची ताक पई पैसा दउची तांकर रिनोवेशन होउची बा प्रिजर्वेशन करा होउची मॉन्यूमेंट सुरा रिलीजियस मॉन्यूमेंट सुराला हमर सन टेंपल हैला कि पुरी टेंपल हैला कि विभिन्न प्रकार मस्जिद हैला चर्च हैला समस्त पई सरकार पैसा दउची. So that is called state intervention, state support सेटा कोन ठीक अछि. That is also there. नेक्स्ट आसीबा में वेस्टर्न और इंडियन. इट इज नो स्टेट पॉलिसी ऑन रिलीजियन. राज्यर कोनोसी नीति रिलीजियन ऊपर आसीबनी. द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन हो कि सरकार हो कोनोसी धर्मीय मैटर उपरे कोनोसी प्रकार ये करि परिबो नाही. Okay, that is there. But here the state frequently frames schemes and bodies and institutions on religion basis, on religious basis. For example, Waqf board, Waqf act boards जोटा मस्जिद रो जमी बाड़ी पई कराइछि. PM's 15-point program recently published for promotion of minorities. Is that clear? Therefore, we cannot say the state is completely neutral in religious matters. State policy is there. State policy is there. So that is the major reason. Okay. So there is state involvement, but in Western countries there is no state involvement in religious matters. ठीक है. So these are the reason why we call that Western, there is a difference between Western secularism and Eastern secularism. Mains रे question आसे, गुरा बहुत direct question भी आसी, OS रे आसी, IS रे आसी. So these are the difference between Western secularism and Indian secularism. Therefore, Indian secularism is called positive secularism because the state is not completely neutral or aligned to religious matters. But in case of India, the state, in case of Western countries like America, the state is completely divorced. ता द्वारा कौन हम जदि राष्ट्र से धर्म मैटर किसी नदब ताले जी जो धर्म डोमिनेट करिवो तांकर धर्म डोमिनेट करूछि. हिंदू मानकर ये मानकर एते प्रादुर्भाव रहउछि कि हिंदू मान हैला कि अन्य धर्म रहला कि से मानकर प्रादुर्भाव एते रहुनी. किंतु भारत रे सबु धर्मर प्रादुर्भाव अछि. सबु धर्मर धर्मीय गुरु मानकर सम्मान अछि बा समस्तंकर एठी निजस्व प्रतिष्ठान अछि, निजस्व भैल्यूज अच्छी. समस्त धर्मर लोक सको म्यूचुअल कोएक्जिस्टेंस जोड़ा कहूचे सेटा बेसी इंडिया रे इफेक्टिव कारण एटा खाली संविधान रे देला परे हेनी. एटा भारतीय जातीय जीवन रो गोटे माने कैरेक्टरिस्टिक कि हमें एज एन इंडियन वी फील वी डोंट डिफरेंशिएट पीपल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ रिलीजन. We are promoting, Indian constitution promotes fraternity. It will likhi dei paribo. It promotes fraternity, but no fraternity is promoted. Fraternity is mentioned in the preamble of Constitution of India. Common brotherhoodness is the goal of the constitution, the philosophy of the constitution. Why? Because India is a multi-religious country and there is a need for promotion of fraternity among the people for the unity and integrity of the nation. For the unity and integrity of the nation and the respect for or the protecting promoting the status of individuals, each individuals respecting the status by promoting fraternity among all, by securing the individual status and unity and integrity of the country. The fraternity is promoted in the Indian constitution. Therefore, ठीक है. So these are the basic reasons or basic differences between the Western secularism and Indian secularism. As I told you, in the constitution there are a lot of ample provisions and provisions like articles 14, 15, 16, 17 and you can say your 19 भी आसीबो, 19 भी आसीबो, तापरे 25 रु 28, तापरे 29 रु 30, तापरे article 326 right to vote. There are a lot of provisions, lot of articles are there which makes India a secular state. Religion has not been considered in matters of public employment, discrimination, equality before law, abolition of untouchability कहीं कराइछि. रिलीजियस सेकुलरिज्म पे क्या अनटचेबल कही परिबानी. से हिंदू मु मुस्लिम से क्रिश्चियन ये जो अस्पृश्यता भाव खाली कास्टिस्टिक अनटचेबिलिटी नो रिलीजियस अनटचेबिलिटी भी इंडिया रे हेई पारे संभावना अछि. सेति पई अनटचेबिलिटी को कंप्लीटली अबोलिश करछि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. 19 रे फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच हो समस्त को दिया जाइछि, का को मना कराइनी. फ्रीडम ऑफ ट्रेड ऑक्युपेशन समस्त को दिया जाइछि. ठीक अछि. 25, 28 the core part of secularism, direct secularism. freedom of conscience dies. Religion is left to the choice of individuals. That is why 2930 is specifically for protection of mind. I think Indian constitution is one of the fewest constitution in the world which secures or which makes all out effort to protect the interest of the minorities of India. That is why India is a born secular country. And 3026 right to vote, universal adult suffrage. No person, every citizen attaining 18 years of age and above will be eligible to vote, right to contest, right to elect, right to be elected is a secular right. That means no person is discriminated on the ground of religion. There is no communal representation in India. There is no communal representation which was introduced in British time, colonial regime. That is but not there. Limited franchise, universal adult suffrage is there. Every person has a right to vote, right to elect and right to be elected, irrespective of his or her religion or race. That's why the constitution amply provide for secular nature, but secular credentials, secular regime. So that is there. So therefore, secularism has been, and India professed to be secular. India professed to be secular explicitly in the preamble by 42nd. The word secular was added to the preamble by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976 during the Prime Ministership of Indira Gandhi. India declared to be a secular country, explicit declaration. But that does not mean that India became a secular state only in 1976. Secularism has been a part and parcel of Indian culture since time immemorial, and the constitution from the beginning provided for secular features, secular provisions in its body. That means a lot of articles were already present before that, but the state declares itself to be explicitly secular by 42nd Amendment Act 1976 declared secular. Then judicial cases. In judicial cases, we'll take 3 cases. I think you can add also the Kesavananda Bharati case. Kesavananda Bharati case. It is 1973. Secularism was declared as a part of basic structure, and we have already basic structure upare mu gote class karichi. Basic structure refers to the provisions of the constitution which cannot be diluted, abrogated, abolished or distorted by any constitutional amendment act. Basic structure, there are certain features which cannot be diluted, abrogated, violated or abolished or distorted by the state action or individual action. That is basic structure. So first time in Kesavananda Bharati case 1973 versus State of Kerala, the apex court declared secularism as a part of basic structure. That means the state cannot play hide and seek with secular characteristic of Indian constitutions. That's why it is there. Again in S.R. Bomai case, 1994, the Supreme Court declared secularism as a part of basic structure. And in the recent case, Subramaniam Swamy versus Subramaniam Swamy and others versus Union of India case 2024 ame kahi pariba, the Supreme Court made an oral observation that secularism is a core part of the constitution. That means it is a mere reiteration, repeating of the earlier views. That does not mean that only 2024 Supreme Court saw secularism as a basic structure, part of basic structure. It had already been seen as a part of basic structure in Kesavananda Bharati case. There are other cases also where Supreme Court had held that secularism as a part of basic structure. So remember that the provision which comes under the purview of basic structure is not subject to abrogation, abolition or distortion by the state through amendments. ठीक अच्छे एमती बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर माने जो प्रोविजन गुरा संविधान रु उठे नहीं हबनी ताकू उच्छेद करा जाई परिबनी तार अर्थ रे कोनोसी व्यतिक्रम अना जाई परिबो नाही. दैट मीन्स से माने अनचेंजेबल सैक्रेड बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर हला कोन सैक्रेड नॉट सब्जेक्ट टू चेंज बाय द स्टेट. So that is why these are the cases, and जो recent cases हम देखिबा सुब्रमण्यम Swami and others case 2024 रे सुप्रीम कोर्ट से डिक्लेयर कला the core part secularism as a core part of the constitution. So these are the secular provisions of the constitution. तेणु धर्म निरपेक्षता भारत वर्षर एक अविच्छेद्य अंग एवं आमे समस्ते भारतीय आमर परिचय है भारतीय इंडियन नॉट हिंदू नॉट मुस्लिम नॉट क्रिश्चियन नॉट बुद्धिस्ट नॉट जैन्स नॉट जोरास्ट्रियंस नॉट एथेइस्ट. We are Indian above all. That is the value the constitution seeks to promote, and that is the value the apex court always takes step to promote. So setipai secularism is quite essential for survival of unity and integrity of the nation. Unless we are secular minded, unless our generations become secular minded, there will be a threat to unity and integrity of the country. Then secularism is flourished through the provision of fraternity and the securing the status of individual. If all individuals, by each individual is respected in the constitution, irrespective of his religion, irrespective of his race, sex, place of birth, place of like. So that is why Supreme Court बेले बेले सेटा को reiterate करूची हमको सूचई दूसंती बा हमको सचेतन करी दूसंती कि जे सेकुलरिज्म छड़ा भारतीय एकता और संहति असंभव ही पड़िबो. तेणु भारत भिन्न धर्मर देश भिन्न भाषाभाषी देश हेले भी भारत होची एक गोटे एक देश एक क्षुद्र पृथ्वी जो थे आम बास करुचे. तेणु आम भितर जो वैराग्य जो वैषम्यता ये जो भावना जो अन्य धर्म प्रति जो हिंसात्मक भावना बा अन्य धर्म प्रति वैमातृक भावना ये सबूर स्थान नहीं भारतीय संविधान परिषद रे. ठीक अच्छे ताने भारतीय संविधान सुरक्षा दायित्व जेहेतु सुप्रीम कोर्ट को अच्छी तेणु समय समय से सबू विषय आमको मन पकई दूसरी. एवं ये जो रिसेंट केस सुब्रमण्यम स्वामी का केस रे सुप्रीम कोर्ट सेकुलरिज्म को आउ थे पुणी बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर गोटे अविच्छेद्य अंग बाय कोर पार्ट ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बोली कहिथिले. एटा केवल गोटे टाइप रो रेइटरेशन बा रिपीट ऑफ द earlier verdicts, not that की only. ठीक है पिलाने तो आम गोटे बेसिक व्यू नेले कि ये जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट को रिसेंट वर्डिक्ट रो कौन एक्चुअली अर्थ अच्छी एवं सेकुलरिज्म रो वैल्यूटा केमती भारतीय समाज पई भारत रो एकता और संहति पई अत्यंत नित्यांत आवश्यक से विषय रे सुप्रीम कोर्ट को ये जो सद्य प्रकाशित मत बा सद्य प्रकाशित तांकर राय निश्चित भाव में गुरुत्वपूर्ण रहिबो समस्त पाई. ठीक अच्छी तो यहाँ मोर कहबार कथा एवं एति कही एटा क्लास को मु शेष करी तुम पाई. बाकी आमे कंक्लूजन एटा नबा कि विदाउट सेकुलरिज्म द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनलिज्म इन इंडिया इज फिजिकली इम्पॉसिबल. Constitutionalism or unity and integrity of the country is impossible without promoting secular values and secularism in the in the country. ठीक है, there is a need for promotion irrespective of religion. We should respect all, and the constitution has not been partial or has not shown stepmotherly attitude to any person belonging to any religion. ठीक है, जात पात धर्म एगुरा सब हिंदू देश के निवासी सभी जन एक है, विभिन्न रूप रंग भाषा चाहे अनेक है, धर्म रूप वेश भाषा चाहे अनेक है। तो ये जो जिनसटा आमर अच्छी तेणु आम सारे जहाँ से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा, तेणु समस्ते होचंती जी भी भारत रे रहूची समस्ते भारतीय एवं तांकर परिचय केवल भारतीय। इंडियननेस इज ए कॉन्सेप्ट, नॉट ए नेशन स्टेट। Indianness is a concept to be nurtured and understood in our mindset. That is enough for the country to survive as a one nation, one concept. ठीक है, that is why, so conclusion is there. Next आसीबा में इटा हमर सरीगला क्लास, तेणु आम देखिले प्लाने एसबूर प्रमोशन। बाकी मु तुमको कैटेगोरी नो आवर ओडिशा बैच उपर कहूँ कि नो आवर ओडिशा बैचटा ओडिशार इनफॉरमेशन पाई बहुत यूजफुल हम। जो मैंने एसएससी बा जेकोसी परीक्षा दौच एवं सिविल पाई प्रिपेयर होच ओपीएससी यूपीएससी पाई ओडिशार मैटर बहुत एसेंशियल। से बहुत रिनाउंड फैकल्टी अच्छा मो सहित समस्ते दी जन मिसिकी ए क्लास नबू एवं से बहुत सारा तुमर एमसीक्यूज आंसर राइटिंग रहिबो सिविल पिला मानन पई। तो जिते जल्दी पारुछ स्टोर आप रे आडा 247 आप रे स्टोर को जाई कि नो आवर ओडिशा बैच रे एनरोल करनियो। जदि पारिबो जदि एनरोल करिवो मोर बैच मोर कोड यूज करिवो Y963 आज टू 27% डिस्काउंट लागू होची फैकल्टी कोड उपरे। तेन तुम माने एटा को जल्दी एक्सेस करो एवं वीडियो वैलिडिटी 24 मंथ्स पाखापाखि लागू हबो। तेणु जॉइन डोंट प्लीज अवेल दिस अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड जॉइन द बैच सून। बाकी 2.0 वॉरियर आरंभ हो जाइए, एटा फाउंडेशन बैच। बहुत पिला पचारछन सर इंग्लिश ओडिया रहउछ ना नहीं, इंग्लिश ओडिया भी रहिबो। पीएमआई रे सबू रहिबो, प्रिलिम मेंस आउ इंटरव्यू रे जेति कोर्स मेंस रे अछि तुमर ओडिया ये केवल ऑप्शनल टा अलग क्लास हबो, ऑप्शनल पई अलग बैच हबो। जो माने जो ऑप्शनल नबो पीएसआर ऑप्शनल लॉन्च हबो, तेनु सेटा तुमे देखिकी तुमर नबो। ठीक है प्लाने सो आज पई एतिके विशेष गति एटा जेतु रेकॉर्डिंग क्लास मु तुम मन को विश करूची कि तुमर कैरियर ब्राइटर रहू एवं हैप्पीनेस तुम लाइफ रो गोटे पार्ट हो। Be happy, be successful and be perseverant. ठीक है, thank you very much for watching my session and I will be bringing